David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. And folks, I'm at the Pan Pacific Hotel with ace cameraman Lincoln J. We were tipped off that the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, is going to show up for some sort of a schmooze fest here. Hopefully he's not going to give away hundreds of millions of dollars of Canadian money, Canadian taxpayer money that is, to some foreign land. But I digress. In any event, we want to ask Justin Trudeau a couple of questions. I think the biggest question is this: why did he freeze the bank accounts of peaceful protesters at the Freedom Convoy last winter, but he can't be bothered to take action against Chinese communists subverting our democracy? You may recall the government of China interfered in the 2019 election, supporting 11 Liberal candidates that year, and Trudeau claims he was never briefed on this, even though CISA says he was. How about another couple of questions? I'd like to know what his reaction was to Justice Rouleau having Brandon Miller escorted by security out of the Emergencies Act inquiry earlier today. And of course, was that really a Liberal operative that was waving a Nazi flag on the initial day of the Freedom Convoy protest? Well, there's a hot potato issue for the little potato, as they call him in China. How about this? Can we trust Commissioner Rouleau to call a fair game when it comes to the Emergencies Act inquiry? So many questions. But as you know, we are persona non grata. We've seen the mainstream media be warmly welcomed into the venue. But Lincoln and I are going to go to the hotel, wait for the convoy to come. He's always late to these events. And then we're going to try to scrum him. Hopefully, we won't have a repeat of what happened to Lincoln and I last December. You remember that? Check it out. Susie, what are you doing? Get off me. Hey, I can. Hey, this is assault. Move. I'm on a side. What is this? I'm on a sidewalk. I am on a sidewalk. What is this? You cannot touch me. No rushing order. Hey. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Let's go. What is this? You can't. Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Because otherwise you have no right. Get on my side. Huh? Huh? Yeah, so not only did they beat me up, not only did they break my watch, but I suspect they gave me COVID. It was just a couple of days later, I came down with COVID after being a picture of health for more than 2.5 years. And it was revealed in the media that half of Justin Trudeau's security detail were COVID positive. Despicable, but that's the police state we're in, folks. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police are now the Royal Canadian Mounted Henchmen, and they do Justin Trudeau's dirty work. In any event, we're going to mosey on over to the main entrance and see if this Prime Minister will at least attempt to answer a couple of our questions. Oh, Mr. Trudeau, why did you freeze the bank accounts of innocent Canadians, and you're turning a blind eye to the subversion by the Chinese government? Why are you following us? To get into the darkness? Huh? What's that? Yeah, I'm leaving.
Okay, then leave.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, I don't even know who you are. You got what is that little badge on you there?
You've been asked to leave.
Well, folks, we're getting nowhere here. Once again, Justin Trudeau's Royal Canadian henchmen do not believe in a free press?
Well, folks, maybe that last line I uttered isn't completely true. It's not that Trudeau and his cronies don't believe in a free press. It's just that their definition of a free press involves journalists who are government funded, so that they know their role and they don't ask any insensitive or impolite questions. Yep, welcome to the Dominion of Canada in 2022, in which the media watchdogs have become Trudeau's lapdogs. And if you dare show up to a Trudeau event as an independent journalist, well, expect Trudeau's thugs to get handsy with you. What a disgrace. In any event, you had plenty to say about this latest affront to freedom of the press, the independent press, that is. Red Maple Leaf writes, ever since that happened to you, David, with Trudeau's thugs, I've wanted to leave this country. I actually hate Canada now. Trudeau has turned it into a shithole, and I don't want to be here paying taxes that go into supporting him and his effing goons. Well, Red Maple Leaf, I appreciate your kind words, but let's not give up on our great Dominion right now. Not quite yet. Undeniably, this country is not the same place it was just 7 years ago. But in the months ahead, let's pray for regime change. Let's hope we can indeed make Canada great again. Tom in Back writes, the Menzoid needs to be wearing his baseball cleats when he goes to interview Justin Trudeau. When FJT's detail back him up against the wall, get him with the spikes. Well, actually, Tom, unlike Trudeau's security detail, I really don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to do my job. But last year, I did buy a new set of steel-toed boots to prevent my toes from being stepped on. That's one of the tactics his henchmen use. They purposely stand on your feet. The reason is that this act of violence is not typically caught on camera. And if it is captured on camera, well, they say it was an accident. What horrible Mounties these jerks are. Clint SB writes, only the paid propaganda arm of the government can have access. Bingo, Clint. What we are seeing now in Canada with the legacy media being funded by the Trudeau Liberals, it is something that is both unethical and immoral. How can media outlets have the chutzpah to claim they are impartial when the government itself is funding these outlets to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars per year, and of course, in the case of the CBC, more than $1 billion annually? What a joke. Sir Sunrise writes, the dictator has more guards around him than Biden has. We need to start a criminal tribunal for Trudeau ASAP. I would love to see such a tribunal, but given the climate of our country right now in terms of the political arm and the bureaucracy, what are the odds that Justin Trudeau would skate once again? Unbelievable. And one John Henry writes, David, the answer is quite obvious. The PM is incompetent and unqualified to run a small third world country like Canada. That's a good point, Mr. Henry. I never thought of that angle. The fact that Justin needs the help of the Beijing mandarins to run a proper and efficient dictatorship. It now makes more sense than ever that before he became Prime Minister in 2015, that Justin Trudeau publicly proclaimed his admiration for the dictatorship in China. You cannot make this stuff up, folks. Well, that wraps up another edition of Rebel Roundup. Thanks so much for joining us. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. See you next weekend. Hey, folks, never forget, without risk, there can be no glory. Good night.